What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I'm your host for the Awakening World. This is our Saturday night edition, and it's going to be a really, really special show. I want to welcome all of our friends that are already coming into our Zoom room. I see many of our familiar faces. And as always, let us know where you're from. I know we've got Dorina from Ecuador and Scotty, who's in Colorado, and friends all over. And it's really fun to see where everybody's coming from. I also want to welcome our friends that are watching on Facebook and YouTube. And a big special thanks. You know, he's here. I always thank him, but I get to actually show him. Jon Ramer is who gets us out to all of you. He and his beloved put us out through this Sign Network. Thank you, Jon. And through the Sign Network, we are reaching as many as 100 Facebook groups and pages. So that's pretty exciting. Thank you, Jon. And if you are watching on Facebook or on YouTube, come on into our Zoom room. Wait till you see all the remarkable luminaries that are with us live. And this is where we can interact with each other, get your comments, and it's really, really easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. That's globalpeacetribe.com and register. And when you do register, you're going to get the links to all of our shows for the rest of the year. Starting tonight, all the people that register get the links for our shows going all the way through December 31st. And we do 3 shows every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. And all of our shows deal with all sorts of wonderful topics. And we do a lot of collaborations. And this weekend is very much about collaboration. But we've got upcoming collaborations coming up with Humanity Rising, Humanity's Team, the Illuminate Film Festival. We've got a lot of really fun things happening and extraordinary speakers, both some of your favorite luminaries from the past and the next generation. And speaking of the next generation, I want to introduce my co-host for the evening. She is very much put together this show. We've had the pleasure to work together now. It used to be once every 3 months, and now I'm blessed. It gets to be once a month. And I'm, of course, talking about Teresa Collins, who creates Global Coherence Pulse. She is a pattern mapper, a whole systems, fractal scaling, resonant community builder. She does a lot. And Teresa is going to be really hosting the show, introducing all of the different people that we're going to see tonight. But also want to acknowledge her partner who does so much to help. You've seen her on the show many times. It's Jennifer Hill, coming to us all the way from Lisbon. And Jennifer, it's always so wonderful working with you. Thank you for all the wonderful ways that you just make sure that everything happens, and you always do it with so much love.
Thank you, Scott. It's a pleasure to be with everyone.
And she looks gorgeous, and it's the middle of the night. She always looks gorgeous.
truly an illuminated being. Truly, truly. And there was one time she was doing the show and she had COVID and she still looks gorgeous. I remember that. So,
Oh, wow. Scott, I just want to say I'm so happy to be co-hosting the Awakening World Show with you and Jennifer on behalf of the Global Coherence Pulse at the start of Peace Week. It's day 92. We've been definitely on a journey for these last 99 days together, and this is much of a group that I have been connected with more deeply around those 99 days. And so I'm so glad that we get to come together tonight, and we get to drop into that initial invitation that happened almost 99 days ago around coming home together and spending this 99 days exploring and experiencing and embodying and expressing what peace through unity actually means together in community, like in the heart of our lives, but also in community. And I really want to invite us to use this evening tonight to enter mindfully into Peace Week, like really bring ourselves heartfully, fully forward and think each day, how are we bringing more peace into our own hearts and into the world? And this group of people that are here as our guests tonight, which I think you're going to go and just let us know who those guests are, they all have been contributing in some way and in the way that's most aligned for them. And I think that's what we're learning as we come together, that if we just do our part, if we just do the part we came to do, and we join together in doing that, something miraculous begins to emerge in the face of all of the really deep challenges that we are facing together. So yeah, I'm super excited. And maybe you can introduce everyone and then I'll start us off with the run of our show.
fabulous. Well, in no particular order, because everybody is an equal in this world. And we're not going to do the big bios. We're just going to briefly mention Julie Krull is with us. And Julie, it's always an honor, always a pleasure. We're going to have fantastic music. Beloved brother Cornflower is going to provide us with multiple musical numbers tonight to get the energy going. And Danilea from the listening field. And Danilea, it's been beautiful watching how in the last year, so many people have discovered the work that you're doing and dropping in. And I want to acknowledge she helped me get in touch with the 2 orange trees that were in my childhood home talking to me. So you're going to learn more about the listening field tonight. So thank you for the beautiful work you do. And Dot Maver is with us. And Dot, she is also somebody who's been doing so much for so long. And thank you, Dot. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say tonight. We also have with us Gary Malkin. He's, I believe, a 7-time Emmy award-winning musical artist and certainly one of our most beloved members of the Global Peace Tribe and World Unity Week. So thank you, Gary. And Gary's going to provide wisdom of the world, especially through his music. So thank you, Gary. Michael Lindfield is here, and I've known Michael the longest of anybody. We figured it out. It was what, about 41 years ago, Michael, that you and I first connected?
Yes, in Santa Barbara, well, up above Santa Barbara in the hills.
Yeah, I was running a camp at Jane Fonda's ranch that Michael came to as a guest. And so, Michael, here we are, continuing to be blessed to be with so many remarkable people. So thank you. Also want to acknowledge, I already said, but Jon Ramer is here with us, and Jon has been, along with his partner, Ben Bowler, and Ben's going to join us later on today, really putting together the incredible events of Peace Week. And of course, this is, as Teresa said, the kickoff of Peace Week, and we're going to be learning a lot about the schedule and all the events. And all the people you're seeing tonight are a big part of Peace Week. So there's the crew for tonight. I don't think I've missed anybody. And I'm going to turn it back over to our host for the evening, Teresa Collins.
Thank you. And feel free, Scott, to jump in anytime, and Jennifer, you as well. And all of us as we just move into this nice flow. And I just want to say one thing, we go into a Peace Week like this and we're all of a sudden on screens a lot. And we've been on screens a lot preparing. So I just want to invite everybody to make yourself comfortable tonight And it's lovely to be on screen and have your camera on when you're sitting here. And if you need to get up and move around and just really keep your listening here, but take care of our bodies, I think that's an exploration we need to be on. How do we be on screen together virtually? How do we come together and take the juiciness that we can create when we come together like this and still take care of these bodies? So move around as you need to, and let's really nourish ourselves tonight with this group. And we had a Global Coherence Pulse this morning. We had a Global Coherence Pulse at the start of World Unity Week. It just happened that our Global Coherence Pulse was scheduled at the beginning of Peace Week. So we love that we were able to bring our energy of the pulse and the community pulsing the field in today. And we had Jude Currivan and Gary Malkin, and it was about healing into wholeness, pieces to peace. And we're going to carry that theme into the evening tonight. And we're going to start the evening the same way we started the Pulse. And that is with Gary Malkin taking us into an attunement, which he's been doing lately, and they are lovely. And then into a message from Jude to set the theme for the night. And then we'll all unfold and offer up our love and our present moment thoughts to share tonight as we enter Peace Week. So Gary Malkin, my friend, musical genius, you know, it's time. This is what you're here to do. So let's do it.
What a privilege. What an honor. I just put in the chat something I found because I knew there was a quote from Einstein. I'd like us to engage as a community the magic of our imagination for a second, or more than a second. And I'd like to use our imagination to make believe that we're around a fire together. I'm just going to share the screen so that you can, here we go. Get my clunkiness, but they're here. You hear the crackling fire. Shape shift your molecules into this space together with all of us. Hear the crickets. As we together use our imaginations to drop in, because when we listen carefully, we're cleansing, we're aligning, we're healing. Let's all take a deep breath. Oops, that's wrong. Well, I'm sorry. That's a taste of later. Forgive me. I'm trying to play this track. And I want us to use the power of, here we go. There we go. Thank you. Let the music drop us into the one heart. Let's practice aligning all of who we are into the one field. Sharpening our listening skills. Open the ears of your heart to hear the frequency of everyone on this call and everyone on Facebook, all over the world, listening in. Feel the earth under our feet. Let's listen with our body. Notice the notes calling us like cathedral bells, coming home together. Something about these notes, these pitches, these tones that note, open your heart with a little bit of tender sadness. It's like opening our capacity to feel again. The culture that asks us to numb ourselves, contract, even subjugate or ignore. That we are spiritual beings on a human journey. And we listen with our hearts and with our souls and with our minds and with our imagination. We are around the fire. Celebrating our uniqueness and our diversity. Let's listen into our capacity to be wholehearted. Wholehearted. I love that word, whole. Feel the vulnerability soften you. The warmth of the fire of the love that we're sharing together today. Feel that warmth. And as we soften and listen, become more spacious and more able to listen to the heart of things. Everyone on this call tonight has been living in the practice of the UNITIVE narrative. Let's all immerse ourselves in how that UNITIVE narrative shapes us into who we really are, remembering who we really are.
I love, Gary, that you're evoking the listening fire. Now, I know that's one of the things that we're going to keep getting from you, is that we're going to keep coming around that listening fire over and over and over again. So thank you for that. And let's bring on Jude's beautiful message that we started this morning. She's such a dear, sweet, beautiful,
Hello,
powerful woman.
I'm Jude Currivan. Earlier today, I was delighted to be with Teresa, Gary, and many of you for the Global Coherence Pulse, celebrating the launch of Peace Week. And now it's my wholehearted pleasure.
I'm not sure why the video is not playing, so I'm going to try that again. Let's see
Great,
what
thank you.
happened there. Should be playing. Let's try again.
Here we go.
Hello, I'm Jude Currivan. Earlier today, I was delighted to be with Teresa, Gary, and many of you for the Global Coherence Pulse, celebrating the launch of Peace Week. And now it's my wholehearted pleasure to join our Awakening World show through this recorded message. Our continuing theme is healing into wholeness, from pieces to peace. And throughout Peace Week, other contributions are echoing this foundational hope and promise. Over the past years, I've spoken of how our perception of the world and our place in it, our worldview, drives our choices and behaviours, and how these in turn feed back and affect our worldview. So it's not a static perception, it's a moving, an evolving perception. And sometimes that evolves into an expanded sense of awareness and connection. And sometimes it closes down. But in all our experiences, our worldview is the foundation for our choices and behaviors. With a collective worldview, hitherto based on materialism and separation, we've fragmented our perception and awareness into pieces. We've effectively dismembered ourselves. And in such pieces, while we might try to come together, to cooperate, to find ways of transforming conflicts into peace, the underlying worldview of such separation inevitably has meant that such conflicts and other behaviors, including inequalities and injustices, both with each other and with our planetary home, Gaia, have prevailed. Yet, we are now, though, waking up to remember who we really are, and that we are inseparable from each other and the whole world. As my dear friend Dr. Julie Krull points out, unity isn't an ideal, it's real. And as my dear friend Dr. Joni Carley also maintains, unity isn't an aspiration, it's our existential reality. The global community of the Coherence Pulse and Islands of Coherence also know and embody this, and so understand the empowerment of heart-based coherence and collective love-based intention and action. They join me and many, many others in now claiming this fundamental truth, based on the latest scientific breakthroughs and evidence across all scales of existence and across many different fields of research that is upending the old paradigm of materialism and separation, and instead revealing the unified nature of reality. This revelatory new evidence converges with universal wisdom teachings, and instead of a universe bereft of meaning and devoid of purpose, shows us a universe whose appearance arises from deeper non-physical realms of causation as digitized and vitally meaningful information, and that its informed reality manifests holographically with its innate wholeness expressed in nested and relational diversity. Fundamentally, it's showing us that mind and consciousness aren't something we have, but rather and literally what we and the whole world are. Our universe, meaningfully and purposefully, exists to evolve as a unified and essentially conscious entity, from simplicity to complexity and diversity. Beginning nearly 14 billion years ago, not in the implied chaos of a Big Bang, but at the first moment of an exquisitely fine-tuned and incredibly ordered and ongoing big breath. As space expands and as time flows, evolving to ever greater levels of individuated and collective self-expression, self-awareness, and conscious interdependence and interbeing. On a global scale of our planetary home, Gaia, Gaia's continuing emergence is embodied in collaborative and synergistic relationships and dynamic co-evolutionary partnerships. and where now the conscious evolution of humanity may be realized as an integral, a crucial part of our planet's own evolutionary progress and purpose. This emergent and revolutionary understanding has enabled a new and unitive narrative of our conscious and evolutionary universe, our beloved planetary home, Gaia, and ourselves, to underpin, frame, inspire, and empower our conscious evolution and our healing into wholeness and the true peace that is its natural outcome. And so let us together as Gaians, as my dear friend Michael Lindfield invites us to do, and share from our hearts what is emerging as we strive to embody inner and outer peace through unity in diversity and for the good of the whole. Thank you, and my wholehearted good wishes for a wonderful show.
You're muted, Teresa.
We love you so much, Jude. Such a powerful presence and so seeped in the truth of our unity and embodies it with everything that she shares. So there's like a transmission of it, and that's what's required. Julie Krull, I want to bring Julie Krull on. Julie Krull, you're the perfect person to follow. Jude, we've been having lots of great conversations together, and really about the power of a unitive worldview, a unitive narrative at the foundation of everything that we're doing. And Julie is the founder of the Good of the Whole, and her and I, with the Islands of Coherence and the Global Coherence Pulse and the Good of the Whole, are joining forces together so that we can bring forth some, the connection field, right? Bring forth a place where we can all share our gifts and have them be seen and nourished. And Julie, I'm excited to hear what you might share on the heels of Jude, and it's lovely that you're on the show tonight.
Well, thank you, Teresa. Thank you. I love following Jude, and I'll try to weave in this unitive narrative also with Peace Week, because this is the start of Peace Week and day 92. And there's so many beautiful threads to pull through tonight as we're working on this healing to wholeness from peace to peace. So I sat with one of the core needs. You're going to hear about the core needs, which are themes that we're really immersing ourselves in every 8 days here, all the 7 days, but starting today and moving through to our final day, we're talking about the core needs. You're going to hear more about that. Today is healthy soil. And I sat with healthy soil in meditation and asked what I needed to be informed about. And all of a sudden, the pieces to peace made complete sense to me, informed by the soil. So I'm going to share some statistics with you, and hopefully we'll circle back around to the unitive narrative and really try to understand what this unity and diversity really means. Because I'll begin with our human microbiome. Think about this for a minute. 39 trillion microbes and bacteria call us home. They call us home. In my body tonight, in your body, 39 trillion microbes and bacteria. It's amazing. Each part of our body is a different type of ecosystem. Like the planet, in different continents, in different climates, different things grow. the microbiome in us and the bacteria, they grow in different places within and on our body. Our body is an ecosystem for 39 trillion amazing organisms. Okay, so then the food we eat. On Monday, we're going to talk about vitalizing food, another core need you're going to hear later in the program. We ingest around 1 million microbes in every gram of food. Think of how small a gram is. We ingest another million microbes with every gram. Fascinating. So the soil, here we are in this pieces of us. We are in this huge community, but the soil, in a teaspoon of soil, productive, healthy soil, it generally contains between 100 million and 1 billion bacteria. Think about that. A teaspoon of healthy soil, from 1 million to a billion, 100 million to a billion bacteria. A ton of microscopic bacteria can be active in an acre of soil. And then there can be 10,000 to 50,000 different species in less than that teaspoon of soil that we're talking about. So even though there's 1 million microbes, there's 10 to 50,000 different species in that teaspoon of soil. Does that like blow your mind? Like, yeah, that blows our mind, right? So that same teaspoon of soil, those microbes there are more than there are people on our planet. In a handful of healthy soil, the biodiversity is essential. It's important. It's essential. And the biodiversity that's within us is essential. And I want us to think about the 7 point so many billion people on our planet, nearly 8 billion people. Let's begin to see ourselves as essential. All the pieces of us on the planet, all the plants, all the animals, all the pieces and parts that make up this beautiful earth that we live on, work together for the good of the whole. My bacteria and microbiome right now is everything is working together to digest the dinner I had this evening with my husband before I got here. And it's all working for the good of the whole in my body this evening. This is unity in diversity. This is what we mean about a universe. And it's exciting to understand now that the science, everything we've learned from science through Newtonian physics is old, and it's shifting now. And the new science is showing us that this is one unified whole. It's inseparable. There is no division. So with the unitive narrative, I'll just leave you with a few thoughts here that I think are important. And number one is that it's okay for us to honor the pieces as we're looking toward from pieces to peace. The pieces of all of us are essential. Think about yourself. I have all kinds of pieces of me that come out at different parts in my life, in different relationships, in different roles that I play, in different work that I do. The pieces of me are essential. And they don't all come out at the same time. The radical, I'm seeing Gary there, the radical artist, crazy woman inside of me doesn't come out when I'm leading a meditation. So the pieces are essential. The key is the unity in diversity. The key is the unitive factor that holds the universe in its wholeness at all scales of existence, as Jude reminded us, at all scales of existence, from the microbiome that's inside of me to the cosmos out there, how our planets align, all scales of existence. There's a unified nature to reality. And that's what brings us back into healing, into our wholeness, is coming into that relational diversity, coming into that interdependence, and literally stepping in mindfully and consciously to be that co-evolutionary partner with our planet and with one another. That's what we hope to look forward to during Peace Week, is that we all come together, like Teresa said, in our own unique expressions and become who we are and serve the good of the whole. And with that, we're in for a treat with some good music. I'm going to turn this back to Teresa. Thank you. Let's all heal into wholeness today and really cherish the pieces that are us and move from the pieces of us into peace.
I love the weave and the microbiome. I can just feel it. My whole body is coming together and it's all dancing so that we can be here right now, and we can be loving, and we can be present, and we can be responding in the midst of what's occurring with our hearts open. Like, that's an amazing thing. Yeah. So we're going to take that and kind of allow it to just go in. Jude's message, Gary's opening around the fire, Julie calling us into really feeling the aliveness of ourselves, and let Cornflower just help us take that a little bit deeper with his music. Cornflower.
Hi there. Hey everybody. Thank you for what a great start to our sharing in circle around the listening fire. Thank you, Gary, for that. That was so good for me. I really felt like I was sitting around the fire with everybody. And I didn't know what song I was going to play until Julie dropped in and started sharing. So I hope you all enjoy this. This is With All Things.
Well, we're on Gallery View. Let's all twinkle cornflower. That was awesome.
Fucking amazing. Sorry, I cursed. Amazing.
Oh, I love you all so much. Thanks for playing with me tonight. It's a good feeling.
Oh my gosh, we have the fire and we have our story that tells us undeniably that we are all connected. And all of our microbes, all of our biology just woke up. We're listening because Julie called it to presence, and then Cornflower just spun it right up into one. What a good start of our night, exploring and healing into wholeness, which is just relaxing into wholeness, opening into wholeness, which we're just doing right here together. And the peace through unity just starts right here where we are. Thank you, Cornflower. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Jude. Jude has a new book, and we're putting a link in the chat there, and we can talk more about that. So we're going to bring in a little video around the 7 core needs. And the 7 core needs, Julie mentioned that. Danilea will be talking about it. Dot will touch on it a little bit. So I think it's a really nice time to play the video. And the 7 core needs, that's okay. I'll say something afterwards. Go ahead. Thank you, Scott. During World Unity Week, we had themes running every day, and they were the 7 foundations of life, and they were brought through from eco-governance and from many conversations, and we focused every day on connecting in with those foundations of life and learning from them. And during Peace Week, we're doing the 7 core needs. These are all things that we all need in order to survive: living soil, healthy food, clean water and air, comfortable shelter, our ability to manifest our potential. And so each day with the Global Coherence Pulse and morning fireside chats and other events that will be focused plenary sessions on these 7 core needs. And I put a link where you can learn more about this global initiative that's actually launching with Peace Week, and will continue to ask the question, how do we organize together as a human family to make sure that our core needs are taken care of on behalf of ourselves and all of life on this planet? A really beautiful thing for us to commit to in these days ahead. So next, I want to bring in Dot Maver and Michael Lindfield. I'm going to have them just kind of flow into each other without doing an introduction between them, because they're often, as they said, they often sing together. They often play and dance together in how they share with the world what is emerging, and from 2 really beautiful perspectives. And Dot with the Global Silent Minute, which will be carried through every day with the Global Coherence Pulse. We will honor the Global Silent Minute. And really, Dot, I have watched you over these 99 days, and the quality of your commitment to the presence of peace as something really possible in the world through us, happening now, not happening someday, is consistent and never ending and deep and rich. So thank you for that. And Michael, I loved your new bio and your title of Soul Gardener. I really think that fits you exactly right, and your invitation for us to become Gaians. So I am going to leave this group now in your capable hands together. First Dot, and then Michael Lindfield to share their hearts with us. Yeah, Dot, we'll start with you.
Oh, thank you, Teresa. And I want to say thank you, Scott, and thank you, everyone in this Zoom room and who's watching. My goodness. With all things, I am one. Thank you, Dr. Laura. There is an eighth core need, Teresa, beyond the seven. It's cornflower.
I saw that.
Seriously. And music. I mean, yes, Michael and I have sung together literally all over the world. And music, our universal language, our language of the heart. Yeah, so Michael, I feel like we should both be on screen here. You know, the core needs are a practical pathway to peace, and you and I have talked about these core needs as a whole systems approach to whole systems healing, which is how Shelley and Jan talk about it. So as Teresa said, there's a fireside chat at 1 p.m. daily where Shelley and Danilea and Jan and I talk about the core needs. And I used to think of them as a little bit separate. Forgive me. There is no separateness, right? So, and everything is one. Now I see them as a family. And it's just incredible. And when Vandana Shiva said earlier today, plants are the hair in the soil on earth. A part of me laughed and part of me cried for what we're doing to the earth. But we have this fantastic opportunity. We've been on this 99-day journey, which is 99 days following decades of a journey for those of us in this lifetime of a certain age, and for many on this call who are in the beginning of this incredible journey of this turning point where, you know, 99 days has forced us to really focus. You're very kind, Teresa, and it's peace through unity towards a thriving world for all of life. And never have I felt more committed to realizing peace. And so we've been on this journey with coworkers from both sides of the veil as humanity takes a quantum leap in consciousness. And we'll be honoring the 40th anniversary of the International Day of Peace, Peace Day, September 21st, when we'll be broadcasting live from the House of Hope in Oswiecim, Auschwitz. We talked about this, Scott, I don't know, it feels like months ago now, but it was just a few weeks. And today there was a ribbon cutting at the Peace Lab there dedicated to our brother, Philip Helmick, and wonderful celebration. And then many of these Ukrainian and Poland children sitting at computers as the Peace Lab opened. It made me cry. You know, as we answer, we're answering, really, the call of our time. And as we invoke cooperation from those who have gone before, we anticipate an evocative response from the other side of the veil. Because we know we're not separate from one another, right? Nor from life itself. And we're taking this solutions-oriented approach during Peace Week, which is really exciting. And we're taking action. ACT, A-C-T, all cooperating timelessly. That is us. So, you know, my thing is Global Silent Minute right now, and silence as action in sacred unity. And Michael, when we talk about the power of silence and invoking the spirit of peace, no one speaks to that better than you, as it is time to anchor the spirit of peace in the heart, the very heart of humanity, in all of our hearts, because we're really one heart. So thank you for this opportunity to share a few words. If love isn't the answer, we're asking the wrong question. I love you all and look forward to taking next steps together. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Dot. The field is alive because we're alive. And you said 99 days, and when I look at the number 99, I see a double helix. I see life. Listening to Julie, it's lives within lives within lives. We are stewards to our own universe of self. Countless lives. And I remember over 50 years ago when I was part of an organic farming community in the northwest of Sweden, our farm animals were worms, earthworms. And one earthworm each day would leave a deposit of 1 gram of organic matter. It would eat its way through the soil, leaving organic matter and aerating the soil. And you could see how everything cooperates smoothly when everyone plays their part, when all the parts serve the whole. And I guess that's the shift that we need to make in our society. My part serves the whole, the whole then serves its constituent parts. So this whole notion of lives within lives within lives is really, really crucial. Spirit of peace, Dot, you mentioned the spirit of peace. So the spirit of peace is not an idea or a concept. For me, the spirit of peace is a living presence. It's an avatar. Now, when you use the word avatar, most people think of video games, and an avatar is a digital representation of who you are. The avatar, or the spirit of peace, is not a representation or a representation. It is a presentation. It's a presentation of pure peace. So this being, this avatar that is embracing our planet, its whole substance vibrates at the frequency of pure peace. So when I say, what's peace, Michael? What is it? Peace for me is when I enter a deeper state of meaning and belonging. That my life is part of a greater life. Life within life. Lives within lives. Systems within systems. So for me, the spirit of peace is this overlighting presence that wants to take up residence on the planet. So where does it live? Where can the spirit of peace live? Well, there's really only one place it can live. It's in the open and loving heart. So part of what we have to do, as well as attend to the 7 core needs and fix the waters and the soil and all the things that we've got wrong in our relationship, we have to open our heart to do all of that. And in opening our heart, we also create an abode in which the spirit of peace can take up residence. And that for me is really important. And so we're talking about moving from pieces to peace. And I'll put into the chat something I wrote in 2013, which was called The Dance of the One and the Many. It's how as Jude Currivan said, how the one was fractured into 1 billion pieces, was dismembered. And we're on a journey of remembering, putting the members of who we are back together. But the spirit of peace can only enter the heart of our humanity once it's opened. So how do we start to expand our heart? By being loving to ourselves, as Julie said, love your own universe, therefore you love all other systems. So it starts with love and appreciation, respect, gratitude, all the qualities of the soul. Think about that. And then it is embracing the whole earth, the whole of Gaia. So the invitation I'd like to extend to you that Jude Currivan hinted at earlier is I want to invite us to shift from simply being humans to becoming Gaians. So let me share the screen and just go through this with you, and then we'll go into this and experience it as a reality. So the question is, what is the difference between living as a human and living as a Gaian? As humans, we go about our lives looking at the world as an external reality, something existing outside of ourselves. As a Gaian, we think, we feel, we act within a deeply sensed knowing that the whole earth lives inside of us and that we live inside the whole earth. Therefore, A Gaian is a conscious fractal of the multidimensional ecosystem that constitutes the living planet. A Gaian is a microcosm of Gaia, a sacred space of synthesis where life meets life and knows itself to be at one with all. So to sum it up, we could say a human being lives on the earth, while a Gaian lives as the earth. A human being lives on the earth, a Gaian lives as the earth. So I'd invite us now just to experience that Gaiahood that we're moving into by going back into that heart space that was created at the beginning of our session. Stand inside the heart and embrace all the dimensions of the planet, from the rocks to the trees, to the animals, to the birds, to the angels, all the invisible realms, all the visible realms, all the beings that comprise this living system. Bring them inside the heart. Gaia lives inside of you, inside of me, inside of us. And we live inside of Gaia. And then this inner and outer simply dissolve and merge. And the reality is, we are the life of the planet. And it's up to us to take responsibility for that. So I'd like to just close this out with standing together as Gaians. And I have a favorite Celtic benediction, and I want to speak it into the field as a Gaian, because I've never done it before. I've always spoke it as just Michael, who loves this particular benediction. But I believe it's what we're being asked to do, and it ties in with the core needs, it ties in with the elements, it ties in with the living soil, the living earth, the living presence also that is the spirit of peace. So here's the final benediction. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the spirit of peace to you. May peace prevail on earth.
Dot, I'd love to have you guide us into a global silent minute. I think this really, just for us really to stand in and claim our true, like people are saying, I am a true Gaian, I am a Gaian. Let's all claim that we are a Gaian. Let's take a moment of silence to really inform every cell in our body of that truth.
Beautiful, Teresa. And Michael, perhaps you want to put the slide. We have a request for the slide to be put back up. Yeah, so we'll take just a moment to prepare to go into the silent minute. You know, listen and silent are an anagram. And so we listen through our hearts in the silence. So let us prepare to go into the silence together with the shared intention of invoking the spirit of peace. We take a deep breath as we activate the spirit of peace within our own hearts. And we unite our fiery hearts across distance. And we take a moment now and we invite all those on the other side of the veil to cooperate with our invocation. The power of silence is greater than we know. And when we hear the Tibetan singing bowl sound, we will enter 1 minute of silence as action in sacred unity. Om Shanti.
Can you bring Michael and Dot back on for me, Scott? That would be great. Every day during Peace Week at 5 p.m. Eastern, we will do a 50-minute Global Coherence Pulse. We'll just come together. We'll focus on a different core need. We'll post the planet with that. And most importantly, one of the things I have to say about this group of friends that we've gathered here together tonight is that we've all really come to know the peace really starts right here, what Michael's saying. It's like there's could be doing all kinds of doing in the world, but if we're not doing it from an embodied place of peace inside of ourselves, then we're not changing the game. And coming together and things like this and the Global Coherence Pulse and Peace Week, coming together in community supports us to stabilize that choice, because it's a choice in every moment to choose to have peace in our heart. And it is our natural state. And people like Michael, I just saw that you're doing a 6-week course. I want to be with you.
It's called soul gardening.
Soul
And
gardening.
it's how we give birth to the truth of who we are, how we allow the soul to flower on earth. And because of the state of the world at the moment, we will be gardening in adverse conditions, but we still have to garden. We can't give up. The earth needs to flower. We are part of the flowering.
Yeah.
We bring our light and our love to this world. It's up to us to shine the light of our souls and dispel the darkness of hatred, separation, ignorance, fear.
I've had the privilege of spending time with Michael in a group with Dodd and others. And if you have a chance to spend time with Michael, really coming into the true presence of your Gaia ship, this is an opportunity to do that. And it is a precious gift. And I thank you, Michael. And I'm so glad you're going to do that. And to come every day and to be guided into a global silent minute from Dodd, and Gary into a listening fire, and Julie. That's what will happen with the Global Coherence Pulses. So I'm so excited that we get to keep deepening together and claiming that peace is really starting right here. And there's not one of us that isn't clear about that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you both. I love you both so much. Yeah. Thank you. No, we know we need a virtual hug. So we're going to take this feeling, right? We want to keep taking the feeling of how we're entering into Peace Week, how we're entering deeply into the presence of peace through unity inside of our own heart. And Gary is going to help us take our claiming of our Gaia ship in that global silent minute where we really brought it into ourselves. And Gary, we can just keep going deeper.
What a privilege. My God. This is like a road show. It's beautiful. It's like to see each person play the role that they are playing in such a beautiful orchestra. It's just exquisite. Hmm. You know, the phrase from one of the tracks that Graceful Passages is a thing that got launched 21 years ago. And Thich Nhat Hanh has a track called The End of Suffering that's touched millions of people around the world. It's called The Great Bell Chant by some, and many people have heard it. And in that phrase, he says, in the garden of my heart, peace blooms beautifully. In the garden of my heart, peace blooms beautifully. And what I thought about earlier, before we were doing the sound check, I expressed some misgivings about this song that I wanted to sing. And the perfection producer in my mind thought, this song can only be sung by Tom Waits in order for it to work. And so but it was a cop out, because what I didn't realize was during COVID, this song impregnated me. It planted its seed in my heart, but it took a year and a half for me to be able to deliver it. And so when I first delivered it, I hadn't been adequately uplifted in my frequency to be able to deliver what the song impregnated me with. So in the garden of my heart, this song is blooming and it's in process. And in the last number of months, I have been receiving messages that have shifted my ancestral commitment to being a victim, but in a way that I never thought I'd ever have the privilege and the honor to free myself from, this ancestral need to look at what's wrong. So, so just to honor that, the phrase that came to me in these last months in the swimming pool as I'm swimming each day, I just want to say it because it was like receiving these tablets. These words
Gary,
came to me.
your voice is very soft. Can you?
Oh, how about this? Is that
Thank
better?
you. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So is that better? All right, good. Sorry. So the phrase that came to me was, say yes to who you are. You belong to yourself. Honor the jewels that make you uniquely you. Revere the animating force that lives inside you. Nothing is more important. So as the flower of love is blooming in my heart, this song is almost like a litmus paper test of how can I create at the frequency that this song vibrates at? And it's a journey. So bear with me because I haven't sung it a lot, but I'm drawn to it because I realize it's a container for remembering what Michael said and what Dot said, this gorgeous, gorgeous recognition of our Gaian-ness. And just when you talked about the heart being the context, the soil in which it's the only place it can happen. I love that, Michael. And it's really what this song is about. Can we crack our hearts open in a way that allows us to celebrate our humanness? It's a pity. I'm going to turn my reverb on. It's a pity that we have forgotten. My heart is broken. There's so much at stake. But it's time now. Time to remember. We're all together, sharing the ache. An old man is dying. He has no insurance. The kids have gone now. to live their own lives. The nights are lonely, but he's still a father. Will someone reach out so he's not alone? We are all here. We are all here. We are all here to love. We were born here. We will fall here. We are all here to love. Daughter Susan, she's well past her 60s. Her aging parents are in slow decline. She has her longings and dreams of her future. But Susan shows up while her brothers are blind. We are all here. I'd love you to sing. We are all here. We are all here to love. We were born here. We will fall here. We are all here to love. It's a pity that we have forgotten. Our hearts are broken with so much at stake. It's time to remember we have each other. But it's time now, so we can awake. We are all here. We are all here. We are all here to love. We were born here. We will fall here. We're all here for love. We are all here to love. I think the flower of this song is finally something that is in my cells. And when I first sang it, I thought it wasn't a good song because I couldn't pull it off. I want to thank you for letting me rediscover what a unifying and loving and heart-opening experience that is. And I'm grateful that it came to me, and I'm grateful I had a chance to share it with you. Thank you.
We love you, Gary. Look at everybody sending lots of love. Julie, I have about a minute, and somehow I felt like you wanted to share something. Do you want to just offer up something right now? Something? For some reason, I was feeling you. If Scott would spotlight you.
Oh, wow. Gary, thank you so much. That was so beautiful. And just the idea that we're here for love is that unifying force that we're talking about here. And yeah, I'm speechless after that song. It was really touching, the different verses, but coming down to that piece of what's like, I'm so glad it's embodied now, Gary, for you, because we need that. We need that messaging. And it's what we're talking about, moving from pieces to piece, is that internal expression of our love, that's simply it, right? That's the answer. That's all there is. It's
my before after experience of having my molecules be at the frequency of yes and love rather than no and judgment, it's so close in my memory. It's only months away when my whole viewpoint was different. So I'm amazed at how of a different vibrational reality it is. And it isn't something that you can manufacture with your mind. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to just share. Thank you for acknowledging and seeing it and being my sister through it all.
Yes, yes, we're all here for one another, and we're here in community. This is our tribe, and that unifying framework of love will see us through. And the next 6 months, there's going to be so much change. So much change. Only, our internal change, just like you're talking about, Gary, that I've walked with you through, but there's so much external change that we're all seeing as well. And it's good, healthy, evolutionary change. And it's scary. As things fall apart, it's scary. As things change into the unknown, we're stepping into the unknown. But this love that you sing of, that we're all sharing, that we're all feeling, is the glue, is the medicine. So, yeah.
Love you, Jules. Thank you.
Love you, Gary. Thank you for that song. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and thank you, Gary, and all of us. I want to say how many of us have had to really choose to finally step up, right? Like do what we've been saying for so long that we're going to do in order for us to really be here and show up and give our gifts. And I think we're all finding our way there now. We're all really choosing to do our part and not more than that. We're taking care of ourselves, and it's really making a difference. So thank you both for your support in doing that. And I want to bring in Danilea next. And I love how the flow of this evening is going, and that we get to be right now, Danilea, with you, with all of the beautiful energy that's been generated up. And Danilea, I have really enjoyed getting to know you and really experiencing the exquisite way through which you bring your gift. And Danilea is a nature communicator, ambassador, sound weaver, and she's been building family relationships with water, rock, and tree elders for 14 years. And now she's been hosting the listening field from World Unity Week, before World Unity Week, the lead up, through Peace Week, the lead up. And you've been inviting us to communicate with our nature elders and ask them what it is that we need to do. And the message keeps coming home, that when we find peace inside of our own heart and when we join in union with all of life, that's when everything changes. So I just want to thank you for your consistency, your dedication, and the beauty through which you bring the voices of nature into the world. Thank you, Danilea. Thank you. Bless you.
Wow. Near the completion of your transmission, Gary, I felt my energetic arm reach out to take the branch of my tree elder, Nokopila. She's in Cape Town, South Africa. And then my other arm and hand went to my river, Ishtako. His English name is Fraser River. He's the provincial river of British Columbia. These relatives are my family. And I'd like to just invite all of us now to just take a moment and close our eyes. And however you imagine this happening for yourself, bring your attention down into your own hearts, where they're all radiating so much juice and nourishment that feeds and connects us with all living beings, and reach out and connect directly with the tree or the water or the mountain elders that you know and love, and who know you and love you. Just breathing and feeling and acknowledging heart to heart with them. Offering your thanks in whatever way that looks like for you or feels like for you. And to all the beloved nature relatives, we invite you to stay here with us in this heart field that we've created. Know that you are always welcome here around our fire, at our council tables, at our kitchen tables, that your wisdom and your presence is requested, is acknowledged, and is honored. I know that each of you, all of you, have waited a long time for us to remember our wholeness, both personally and collectively. And now that very, very thin veil that has been between us and all of you is dissolving into pieces that are morphing into those strings of light that connect us all. From the smallest cell in the biome, microbiome of each of us, to the vast interlocking network, the mycelial network throughout Mother Earth. We are one with you, our beloveds, with our hands and our hearts and our feet on the sacred soil. We see you. We feel you. We breathe you. And now we move forward together. Let's have fun. Thank you for taking that little journey. I imagine living in a world in which the free flow of wisdom happens continuously from our hearts to the hearts of our nature relatives. And we are very close to this state of being. That has so much to do with the indigenous cultures who have been preserving this direct communication for thousands of years. To all of you individually who have been communicating and building your heart bonds with all of those that you have loved. And especially I give gratitude to all of those people who have been joining us in the listening field since it made itself known in 2020. One of the gifts from COVID, when I could no longer go to meet my relatives in person, we discovered that simply based on this love bond, this heart bond that we have individually with each of these relatives, they will come when we invite them. And so for World Unity Week, Jan and Shelley invited me to open listening fields each day with the foundations of life, to ask them, how can we restore right relationship with you? And then again, for Peace Week, this time they asked, would we open the listening field once each week leading up to Peace Week, so that we could have the benefit of some of this wisdom at the beginning of the week. And so I'd like to share with you a little bit of that now. Whoops, sorry. Whoops, I'm sorry. I want to move it over. It's in the middle of the screen, yes?
Yes, you're good. You're
Can
good.
can you see it fully?
Yeah, we see 7 core needs fully.
But it's to the right of my screen. Is that correct? I'm trying to move it. Let me just move it and I'll be right with you.
It was okay. It was okay.
It was okay? All right. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, so this was us listening in each week. This was a message that started the whole thing for me in January, that really gave me the courage to step up and to share that this was my offering to help prepare this way for their voices to be heard. This is back from World Unity Week. How do we restore right relationship? We connect and we stay connected and listen. How do we listen better? We persist. We're learning how to do this. We are all unique life expressions living as one. We've heard this tonight, the UNITIVE narrative. Allow our electromagnetic frequencies to align, give and receive life as one. Give and receive life as one. Everything you need to know is encoded in your body. Learn to listen in your cells. Great stillness is required. And then, of course, bringing us to the question that we asked of Living Soil: how can we organize ourselves to ensure that all humans and animals have guaranteed access to you? How can we ensure your thrival? Mycelium, very short and sweet. Learn to imitate us. I have made this commitment to be my study of this mycelial network. Perhaps some of you have a curiosity about that as well. This was a really big surprise. As I was tuning in 30 minutes before I was going to host the listening field, this huge wave of water rose up through my body. And I asked, is this my grief? No. Living Soil, I said, is this you? It said, yes. And later, once the field was open and I went into a deeper one-on-one dialogue with Living Soil, I was told that this grief that's in the soil, it's not a bad thing. And that in fact, the grief that we as humans feel, this trauma that so many of us are unearthing, that have kept us separate in pieces in ourselves and separate from our outer relationships, that needs to flow. And they kept showing me this image of humans lying prone on Mother Earth and letting our tears flow into the soil. Earlier today at the opening, Becky mentioned that Auntie Pat McCabe had said this very thing a year and a half ago. about saving our tears and giving them to Mother Earth. This one was very interesting. Stop trying to be more clever than creation. Align. Be humble. Listen and obey. Listen to the heart of Mother Earth. Listen to the nature elders. Tell what you hear. Become careful listeners. This is what it means to align. So I want to just close by saying that in this unitive narrative, this new reality that we are co-creating together, step by step, that conscious co-creative partnership with our nature relatives and elders is our future, is our now, and is the way that we are going to be able to stay entrained energetically with the frequency of life. Because our nature relatives and elders are masters. They're masters at this. And when we come into heart bond, our energy systems recalibrate to theirs. And we can do this at any time, and we can ask for help whenever we need it. And they are willing to share their wisdom with us. It's exciting. And they love to play.
Thank you, Danilea.
Thank you.
So beautiful. You can really feel it. You can really feel the connection between the nature elders and ourselves when we open up. And Scott asked people to kind of put in who their nature elders were, and there were some beautiful sharings in there. We all feel a connection to something, and we can start to ask those questions and really respond to the answers. Beautiful. And there's a link to the listening field, and it's a beautiful site that has everything that Danilea is offering over Peace Week and beyond. So go to that link. We'll share a little bit more at the end of the show, but it was beautiful. I got to see everything you're doing all in one place. It was perfect. Thank you, Danilea.
You're welcome. Thank you for having all of us.
Yeah, of course. It's our gang here. And I'd love to bring on Jennifer Hill. Jennifer, you look so beautiful always. I can't believe it's like 3 a.m. or something like that. And I don't even know sometimes how to describe you, Jennifer. You are, when I think about Jennifer, I think of in service. And I think of someone who has chosen to ask the universe for miracles and are showing up to be present for them all the time. And you bring that energy into things like the Global Coherence Pulse, the UNITIVE Narrative, to interviews, to courses, to Global Coherence Pulse, to everything that you do. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your beauty and your grace, and for showing up, being of service in all the ways that you do. Remarkable.
The honor and privilege, Teresa, is all mine. It is truly humbling to be of service. And it's funny, I don't actually normally share this, but I did just send a personalized email about it. I was on a panel last week with Deepak Chopra talking about his Never Alone Love movement. And many people don't know this, but I actually tried to commit suicide 3 times between the age of 16 to 20. And I wasn't planning on sharing that, but I share that because I feel compelled to do good in the world. The fact that I'm still here, living, breathing, and able to live another day means that I have work to do and that there's light to be revealed. So thank you for the opportunity.
Love you.
Love you too. Well, on that note, speaking of revealing light, I was not expecting to share this particular thing that I wrote today, but I feel compelled, given the essence and the deep listening of what's being called for with the beginning of Peace Week, with everything that's been shared by all of my beautiful, beautiful soul brothers and sisters who have been sharing here with us today. I feel compelled to share this thing that I wrote called Bending to the Winds of Change. So bear with me as Gary shared earlier, his perfection producer, which I'm going to steal that, Gary. I love that. My perfection producer would never normally have me read something, though I feel really that in order to convey the essence of this, it needs to be read. We find ourselves at a unique time in the world. Things may never be the same again. At least that's what we hope. A world filled with separation, anger, war, destruction, depleted resources, and lack is not the future which any of us long or strive for. So what is the world we want for our future? What is the world that we could dream of? The good news is we don't have to dream. The latest science shows that we evolved to cooperate, not compete. As my dear friends Jude Currivan, with her amazing upcoming book, The Story of Gaia, shared with us a bit of that earlier, and Julie Krull, who shared about the UNITIVE narrative, all of this and so much more is addressed in the UNITIVE narrative and in the Story of Gaia. The future we can create together can be one of joy, abundance, and connection. Though first we have to choose that we want that future, and we have to actively participate in its unfoldment. We have to be invested in how it happens. The journey, not just the destination. Why do I share this at this moment? I share this because my two greatest passions, the things that get me out of bed every day, are intertwined in this endeavor. Those are the UNITIVE Narrative Project, which we've been mentioning throughout all of tonight's show, and my personal project, om-heals.com, which matches users with holistic energy practitioners around the world. So let's start with the UNITIVE narrative. I know Jude touched on it, Julie has referenced it. The UNITIVE narrative was written by 13 evolutionary leaders in December of 2021. It was originally written as an underpinning for how the United Nations 2030 Sustainability Development Goals could be achieved, and since has evolved beyond this initial calling into something with greater longevity, breadth, and depth. When I first read it in February of this year, I felt something, a deep yearning to be a part of this emergence of a new way of thinking, being, and acting on the planet. Simultaneously, I was also terrified of it. How my mind reeled, how during these times with war, viruses, and fear at a zenith, how could we create something new now? It would require patience, cooperation, and compassion. Patience is the thing that every parent knows is required to raise a child. And so too do we have the opportunity to dig into the depths of our personal reservoirs of strength, to find that patience, to nurture and allow this new world we desire to live in to be born. Cooperation. One of the many beautiful lessons that COVID-19 taught us is that we are not alone. In fact, we are more entangled than we could have ever imagined. Just as the butterfly effect teaches us one person's actions or lack thereof halfway around the world can have an astounding impact on thousands of lives right over on the other side of the planet. Compassion. This is a journey, and it may be an easy and effortless one, or it may be an arduous one. You have much of a say in how this is going to unfold. If we choose bitterness, resentment, and anger as our companions on this sojourn, we will be lost before we ever begin. Though if we can muster up the courage to look within ourselves for the things that we wish to see in the world, it is from this place, this whole place, where we originated and where we are being called back to, that we can find the future that offers us the respite we seek. How do we begin to create this future? It takes an idea, a vision, a willingness to cleave to this vision from the ether and manifest and materialize it here and now, regardless of what internal or external storms may besiege us. Many years ago, I was once told a story about the legendary biosphere built in Arizona in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The biosphere was created to be a perfect environment, to mimic life on Earth, so that should we ever need to inhabit another planet, we could sustain life. Many things the scientists had expected happened. Plants, vegetables, and animals all grew and flourished, except with the trees. You see, the trees, they grew faster, they grew taller than they ever would have in a normal, quote-unquote, earthly environment. Though before hitting maturity, something interesting happened. They fell over. Why, you might ask, why might trees in this seemingly perfect environment grow and topple before reaching their peak? Well, there was no wind. In a perfect environment, scientists forgot to account for wind. In nature, wind tests a tree to its very limits, causing its branches and trunks to bend and twist, its roots to dig deep into the earth for stability and to withstand whatever nature might throw at it. In a natural environment, this would create what is called stress wood in trees. It is this stress wood, coupled with the tree's ability to pierce their roots deep into the belly of Mother Gaia, that allows them to stand tall and regal and proud for millennia. What is it that we can learn from these trees? We too, as human beings, need stressors. Though the stress that benefits us is not the type of stress that causes us to become anxious or depressed. It is a healthy type of stress called eustress. Eustress is defined as a moderate or normal psychological stress, interpreted as being beneficial for the experiencer. This eustress allows us to become more resilient human beings, so that no matter what proverbial physical or metaphorical hurricanes that may come our way, we are able to stand tall and root ourselves in the knowing that we are safe, we are protected, and we are one. Without the presence of resistance and adversity, we cannot sustain ourselves for the real journey ahead. Why do I share this? It is going to take each and every one of us to dig deep. We need to dig well beyond what we know we are capable of to withstand the maelstorms that lie ahead. Our invitation, our heart's deepest desire, is that you will hear this calling and that you will choose to be a part of it. We pray, too, that you will choose coherence and cooperation rather than continued separation and destruction. This week, this month, this year, ask yourself, what really matters to me? We challenge you to set forth on your journey. Go out and do that which really matters. In this world that is so filled with shiny objects and screens to distract us from our purpose, reconnect to your essence, to know to who you know yourself to be as a human being, and take that action. If you choose, you can use the underpinning, the UNITIVE narrative as an underpinning, as many other organizations are already doing, including myself, including Jude's organization, Julie's, Teresa's, Om-Heals, all organization. You can build businesses, relationships, foundations based on equality and a world that works for everyone. And you won't be alone. I was recently given an opportunity to walk the walk. When my business partner for Om-Heals, Moon Cho, who had invited me to build it with her 2 years ago, came to me and said, "Jen, I can no longer be on this journey with you. It would have been easy to blame, become victimized, angry, or give up or get upset. But instead, I chose to read the UNITIVE narrative. I chose deliberate action. Every day I read the UNITIVE narrative. I applied heart math coherence techniques that I teach in my own life. And I asked, how could we dissolve this partnership in a loving, harmonious way that works for all? You know what? We did just that. In under a month, we were able to lovingly, easily, effortlessly unwind Moon's part in the partnership with such loving, gentle tenderness that it immediately led to miracles for both Moon and myself when we signed the separation agreement. I share this story because there will be tests. We will continuously be tested again and again before we are able to see the future that we yearn to make manifest. That when we keep coming back to our essence, our wholeness, and to the inner knowing that we are all one, and there is no separation, it is from this place that a new world will emerge. Thank you.
It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Let's I'm gonna go to gallery view to just twinkle. Yeah. Thank you for sharing so much wisdom.
Scott, in some ways, it's the perfect sharing before the video that you wanted to share, because it's like we're going to face into challenges. We're going to face into big things, and we need to really dig deep in order for us to ride through this unprecedented time together and keep our trust and hope and be able to contribute to help our global family. So I'm going to pass it over to you. Thank you, Jennifer, always for your beautiful.
Beautiful, Jen. Beautiful.
And your transparency. I always appreciate your transparency. It's a good model for all of us.
So, you know, we periodically do fundraising on this show. And I'm really going to ask everybody to consider contributing to what you're about to see. Because we are all so privileged. We're blessed to have food and home and shelter and to have each other, to have community. And with the video that you're about to see, it's pretty stark what's happening in Pakistan, and it's barely being mentioned in the news. So I invite you to watch this video. You're going to see where you can donate. And then we're going to bring Ben Bowler up to talk a little bit about a wonderful match that Purpose Earth is providing. But let's, as we're watching, let's pray for the people that we're seeing. Let's pray for Pakistan. And most of all, please donate. Here we go.
In 220 million Pakistan, devastating floods have affected at least 33 million people. Yes, you hear right, 33 million. In the South Asian nation since mid-June, torrential rain and flooding have claimed 940 lives. Unprecedented and the largest humanitarian catastrophe of this decade, the floods were. Pakistan is currently experiencing its 8th monsoon cycle, when the nation typically only experiences 3 to 4. The shockingly high proportions of super flood torrents. With 23 districts deemed disaster hit, Sindh has received 784% more rainfall this month than the average August rainfall. Another of the hardest hit regions has been the neighboring province of Balochistan, where Quetta's access to electricity, gas, and the internet has been severely limited. In the province, rainfall has increased by over 500%. Since Thursday morning, most districts of Quetta have been without gas and electricity. The Provincial Disaster Management Authority and the Pakistani Army are working to help those impacted, but there is an urgent need for shelter and relief due to the growing number of people who have been made homeless or relocated. The nearby province of Balochistan, which is largely cut off from electricity, gas, and the internet, has called for 100,000 tents, while the southern state of Sindh, which has been severely affected by the water, has asked for 1 million tents. Given its limited resources, Pakistan's top priority right now is addressing this massive humanitarian catastrophe brought on by climate change. Pakistan is appealing to the international community for assistance. Pakistan's Prime Minister Sharif briefed foreign diplomats on the problem on Friday, saying that his nation must concentrate its rehabilitation efforts toward increased climate change resilience because it is on the front lines of climate change while having a relatively low carbon footprint. Separately, Ehsan Iqbal, the Minister for Planning and Development, told Reuters that 30 million people have been impacted, which equates to around 15% of the population of the South Asian nation. According to a report released by the UN Agency Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs on Thursday, the monsoon rains in Pakistan have affected almost 3 million people, 185,000 of whom have been relocated to relief camps across the nation.
I'm going to pause it there because I think you get the drift. I want to welcome Ben Bowler, who's with us. And Ben, boy, you know, this is, I think, the 5th time I've watched this video because I showed it a couple times today, and every time I watch it, it's just is extraordinary. One interesting thing for us to recognize, as most of us are Westerners, Pakistan only accounts for 0.08% of the carbon footprint on this planet. And if you break it down on per capita, it's much, much less than that. And yet they are suffering at such a high level because of climate change. So it is really important for everybody to contribute. But we do have some good news, and I want to let Ben share about Purpose Earth and what Purpose Earth is providing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you for providing the space for this. It's really important. And It's been such a beautiful show here that Teresa and you have put together. And this is an activity and an action that when you look at that video, it's easy to be overwhelmed. Like, what can we do? What can anybody do at the scale of what's happening over there? And yet what we can do is what we're able to do. We have people on the ground out of Lahore that are a trusted NGO doing humanitarian. They do a lot of interfaith work. Normally, they do incredible work with the youth and with women, but they're responding to the scale of this emergency, and they're gathering funds to bring blankets and food and shelter to women with young babies, and pregnant women is their focus, because you can't do everything. So with that focus, we're supporting them. And Scott, you've been such an incredible, generous supporter of this. And Purpose Earth is matching donations up to $2,500. And since you just played the video, Scott, I've seen a couple of emails coming through from the Global Peace Tribe here who have donated. That is the correct PayPal email address. If you people were just checking, it's PayPal@unity.earth. It is working. And so we're matching it. So I think there's been a few $100s sent just in the last 5 minutes. That's then doubled. And our target is to raise $5,000 for Noreen, Eunice, and Ramail Roy out of Lahore in Pakistan, who are gathering these resources and funds to go and bring them directly to where they're most needed. It may just be, on the grand scale of the disaster, it may just be a small amount, but for those people who are receiving food and medicine and comfort, obviously it means the world to them. So do what we can. We encourage everybody to give generously. We thank Purpose Earth for their matching funds of $2,500, and our goal is to get to $5,000. We're still a long ways away from that. So we'd encourage people to give generously to this. And please do that over the next, now or over the next day or so we can get the funds to Pakistan in a timely fashion. Thank you very much to the Global Peace Tribe and to you, Scott, for giving us the opportunity to share that. And of course, thanks to Purpose Earth.
Thank you, Ben. And we're going to be hearing more from Ben and Jon Ramer and all about Peace Week coming up. But while we're all donating, let's turn it back over to our beautiful, beloved brother, Cornflower. Let's enjoy his music. Let's enjoy how blessed we are, enjoy our privilege. And if we haven't donated yet, let's donate it. And if you have, donate again. Thank you. All right, beautiful, beloved brother, Cornflower. Take it away, my friend.
no, no, no.
you. Let's all give him some love. We love you, Cornflower. In Cornflower, we have a new term that came out of this, which is called naked cornflower. Because the first half.
Yeah, I saw that in the comments. Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's
I didn't see it
cool.
until about like 3 or 4 minutes in, and I thought I'd switched it, but I'd actually switched my speaker and not my microphone. Yeah, something happened when I turned my video off. I don't know. It was interesting. I came
But
back
you know,
and all the sound
honestly,
settings were
it
messed
was
up.
such a blessing, Cornflower. We
Oh,
got to
lovely.
go behind the curtain and see your brilliance
Oh,
as you
thank you.
intuitively laid down each layer. We got to feel the layers and the pieces. It was so intimate of a way of being included in your creative process. It was beautiful.
Wonderful. Well, I love that.
Yeah. So and now we call it naked cornflower.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was wonderful. And thank you so much. I'm going to
Yes.
turn back over to Teresa. I want to thank everybody for all the contributions coming in. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And here's Teresa.
Scott, we gave time for some Global Peace Tribe announcements if you have any. Otherwise, we could go right into like starting to look at Peace Week and get Ben and John in. So
We definitely have Global Peace Tribe announcements for sure.
All right.
But I'm fine with putting them after the Peace Week announcements. So we'll do that. So I guess let's go over to Ben and to John. And it's time to close.
Let's bring them both on. And, you know, we really wanted to use this last part of the show today to really talk about Peace Week and to give people a sense of where to go to find all of the amazing things that are happening. John and Ben, you guys have been working so hard and it's such a beautiful unfoldment. And there's a great calendar and there's a Trello board and there's all kinds of amazing things. So we wanted to give you guys a chance to share from your hearts and just say congratulations on a beautiful start to an amazing week. Yeah.
Thank you, Teresa. Thanks, everybody. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, I just want to say one thing. I'm going to throw straight to you, John. Firstly, it's so beautiful to be here. Just the vibe here, Scott and Cornflower and Teresa and Gary and Julie and Dodd and everybody who's been presenting. I just want to really presence how magnificent it is. And that was even before the fundraising started, right? But then the fundraising started and the response has been amazing. I was in the back. I just want to just say this, John, because we know we got $2,500 in matching funds. We got to match them and get the money over there fast. We're already past halfway. We've gone past the halfway mark. And in fact, I don't know if they want to stay anonymous or not, but just as I was checking that, we had a donation come in for $500 as well, which will put us right on the verge of 2,000 and just a few $100s away from being able to close this, send $5,000 to Pakistan and move on. What a response from the Global Peace Tribe. What a response from all of us, all of you. Awesome. I mean, it's really touching. We're not just messing around here, Brother Ramer. This community means business and you've been in the thick of it. You've been in the thick of it, and it's coming at you hard and fast as we get ready for Peace Week. I thought it was a really beautiful opening ceremony 12 hours ago, and first plenary is done with amazing speakers. But Brother Ramer, tell us I'm happy to get into it as well. But what did you?
Well, what you're talking about is what it's really all about. It's our awakening world, and when we wake up, we take action that's aligned with our values. To have everybody step up like that makes it all worthwhile. I mean, these are really extraordinary times. And I know I'm letting go of anything I believe like I know what to do. I'm just going to be right here in the face of it with you as this mounting challenges are upon us, but that we respond with love and compassion. It's the diversity. It's this diverse exchange that expands capabilities. Just look at what's happened on the show tonight. Just look at the calendar and see all the different expressions. So all we're trying to do is connect us, keep us connected. We're like hungry for the sacred in this space. I love that, Gary. You bring that all the time. Teresa, you bring it all the time. It's like we really want to unlock the potential that we know is here. And we're just experimenting with ways to do it. How do we use this new medium to really turn what we have into what we need right now? So thanks for everyone's willingness to be open to trying new things and to be forgiving when we make mistakes and all that kind of learning we need together, because it is a new world. These are incredible challenges. And I know that it's, we're all going through some kind of initiation. And to see you, Ben, shine so beautifully, and to see how you led that opening ceremony, and so many you host with such grace and elegance, and you, Scott, what you're bringing, and Teresa, and Gary, and Dot, of course. I mean, this is what feeds my soul. As we all come to find our calling, to face our shadow, to hone our visions, and take responsibility for how we connect to the whole. This is a joy. And it's a privilege to do this together with everyone. Thank you, Julie Krull. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for putting up with me. I'm learning to listen, Ben. That's been my kind of directive. Boy, is it easy to misunderstand and to be misunderstood. And to cut each other some slack here so that we can really let the love lead the way. That's what I'm feeling in my heart. And I'm grateful for, look at that thing in Auschwitz today. That is it. That's on the ground, real results. We were able to raise over $20,000 in like a week and a half to honor Philip and to make that happen. So there's so many examples of what peace through unity looks like. This is what I feel everyone needs right now at these times is show me those stories. Where is the hope? Bring me the hope. And we're doing it. And that's what keeps me going. So I love you, brother. You're the best. This is such a great thing.
Do either of you want to show the Peace Week timeline video or the 99 days video, or do you want to go straight to show
the 99
people?
days video?
Yeah.
That's so great because there's Kristen's genius. That's what I think, Ben. I mean, you call it.
Yeah. Let's play the video. I mean, we'll get in. We'll show. I want to just share a little bit about some of the very exciting things that are just around the corner. But by all means, Scott, if you've got it ready to go, let's. I can never hear that song often enough. Let's get into it.
That's a different one. That's great.
You are.
You're right.
Those are transformances. If you go to peaceweek.org on the website, I don't know if that's the easiest way. You like to play them from your computer.
You know what? Let's do this, if you don't mind. This is the 99 days video that my team put together.
Perfect.
So we're going to show that one.
Perfect.
I've got so many videos here. Here we go.
Are you old enough to remember the summer of love? If so, where were you? How did that impact you?
Let me tell you about the lie we've been living in for centuries, millennia. They say peace through domination's justifiable while building up the arsenal. All the sages and wise men of the ages were guiding us to look within ourselves. But the fear so divisive and the lie so enticing, we keep spinning this hell. Raise your eyes, you are the possibility. Nurturing love is the greatest remedy. 99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity. 99 days of peace through unity.
An entire generation of baby boomers grew up with the influence of the Beatles, Woodstock, and the peace movement, and it shaped our lives.
Lift your voice.
And people are coming together once again to create a movement of unification.
Listen deep, and we'll all find harmony.
We are in the midst of another powerful summer, and it is the 99 Days of Unity. It began last month and will continue and culminate in September. And the Global Peace Tribe is collaborating with some of the most wonderful organizations to help all of us remember the power of peaceful unity, coming together.
99 days of peace through unity.
So join us every weekend on The Awakening World, where you'll be meeting leaders from the Evolutionary Leaders Network, World Unity Week, and other beautiful spiritual teachers, wisdom keepers, and luminaries, ranging from Reverend Michael Beckwith to the next generation, led by people like Adam Apollo and the Twin Ray. Join us every weekend on The Awakening World.
A powerful love force. We're coming together, stronger than ever, not divided. We come from the same source. A powerful love force. We're coming together. Hear the call, you are invited. We come from the same source. A powerful love force.
All right, how good
There
is that?
it is. There it is. I can remember when we first showed it back in June, and here we are. We've been talking about it. And what day are we at? Today's day 93?
92 in the US. It's 93 here on this side of the world. So we're getting close. We're getting close, guys. There's some really, really exciting things. Let me just take a moment to share some of the how can people find out what's going on? One of the best ways is to go to peaceweek.org. I mean, you go down there, you see some of these headliners. I mean, we are so richly, richly blessed. And just, again, the power of music that was there in that video. And today with the Cornflower and Gary, it's so special. But if you go to schedule up here and go to all events, that's one way to, see it, all the different stuff that's going on. And there's a lot coming up in the morning. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, it's an extraordinary panel on water as a core need. And that's very, very exciting. You can see there's just so much content. Teilhard's Pathway to Peace Through Unity. Wow, amazing, amazing. So I haven't even seen a lot of this stuff. Dorothy Day, again, that's beautiful. The co-creators Convergence, they are on fire. This was a special pilgrimage to Peru with indigenous people just a few months ago that there's been indigenous elders from near Cusco are part of with Adam Hall. It was amazing. Every day we're going to have the fireside chat, as we know, with the core need presented with Shelley and Dot. So that's every day at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I mean, it's just so much. Eco-Conscious Music Alliance, these guys, they're steady. They do it frequently. Lisa and her team, they bring together musicians and artists and change makers and permaculturalists, and they do incredible work for people in the community. There's so much. Then we have Deepak and Jonathan live in the Room 1 Zoom room at 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss this one. This is going to be part of redefining what human security means at the deepest level. It's part of a campaign that's pending, but coming from the World Academy of Arts and Science. It was founded by Einstein and others, and that Jonathan is very connected to. This will be an incredible conversation leading into the Pulse, which of course is now going to be daily at 2 p.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. And this is a pulse here, the beautiful field. And this is just all tomorrow. Tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Very excited about this. We're launching a brand new series. It's called Religion to the Rescue, which is talking about the evolution of religion. What has religion got to do to be a healing balm, to be a deep part of the solution? I know that's a subject that a lot of people are interested in. And we still live on a planet where 80% of people identify with an organized religion. So probably a pretty important one for the future of where we're going. There's so much. I mean, that video you just showed made me think of this next plenary, again, through Bob and Noel, who have brought in David. Let me just click on that, and you click on that, you get more information. David Swanson, How to Get to a World Beyond War. There's substantial content, there is uplifting content, there is engaging events. It's absolutely amazing, John, and that's like a tiny drop of everything that's taking place in the 15 convergence rooms for Peace Week across these 8 days.
Right. No, it's unprecedented, and this is what we need right now. We need to really figure out how we connect up this way and share our gifts and transform in the process. This is a joy and a privilege and a challenge. It's a challenge to be creative, to be, nature doesn't solve problems. It just keeps opening doors. It just keeps opening doors. So as we hit the wall and we run into each other and we maybe run up against our wounds, let's just keep opening doors. Let's be loving and forgiving. I mean, I always think of Bucky Fuller and what Martin Luther King said, that same thing. Build a new system that makes the other one obsolete. If we're going to be organized, those of us who love peace need to organize as effectively as those who love war. Therefore, we got to try some new patterns. I mean, the thing about the sign network, I just want to point to, that's us collectively. That's a new pattern where we're harnessing our trust. That's why we're able to do this, to support Scott, get behind what he's bringing to the party and say, okay, we want to share that. All of us want our gifts to be shared. We want more reach. Together, we can reach more people together. This is that example of peace through unity, where we're better together. New patterns will give us a chance to change the way we relate, which will change these situations. This is what I'm betting on. New ways of knowing each other, relating to each other, new ways of knowing ourselves in the process. It's all of us in this kind of learning journey together, moving between worlds.
Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. Yes, the sign network is shining bright as a way shower, John. Really for this deep collaboration and what we can do collectively that we can't do on our own. You mentioned nature, and I just think it's really important. Again, the work that Danilea, who's been here on the show with the nature elders, what's happening with eco-governance, the incredible connection to indigenous wisdom right around the world that is, leading us to get back into the rhythms and right relationship with nature, the beautiful work of eco-governance, the 7 core needs. There's something powerful in that's emerging right now across these 99 days and, into Peace Week. And then the UNITIVE narrative, which is adding something extraordinary, cohesive, like we're celebrating today. The Hollow movement, you'll be hearing more about. There's many dimensions of human security. This is the new emerging reality that is to become the dominant, or that's not the right word, that is to become the prevailing paradigms on the planet. So we're at the turning of something incredibly, and all of these beautiful, beautiful things are here to stay. And what Peace Week is part of doing is anchoring them deeper into our hearts, souls, minds, and consciousness collectively, as groups, as organizations, as networks, and as ultimately an unstoppable movement on the planet. So incredible joy and honor to be here with you. Thank you, Brother John, for everything you do. You model the new human so beautifully in so many different ways. It ain't easy all the time, right? It's not always easy, but
that's
we're in it together, and that's a beautiful.
No, thank you, brother. It's really, your concerns are my concerns. That's what love is for me, and to listen close enough to really understand your concerns. That's what I'm learning for myself. To listen to myself too, but it's a challenge for us. We were used to old ways of working that aren't effective and are creating results that nobody wants. So it's a joy to work this out together, being real with each other.
Yeah. Let's just take a minute, everybody. Let's go to gallery view so these guys can see it, because they have been working really, really hard. Let's go in gallery view, and let's all send Jon Ramer and Ben Bowler at the start of Peace Week, which we're already been putting so much time and energy, right? That they are sustained with our love and joy throughout the week, that they can really show up and do the part that they're here to do uniquely on our behalf. And if we fill them up, then we are doing good work in the world. Yeah, let you guys be nourished. Take good care of yourselves this week so you can really shine your light in the moments that it's most needed from you. Yeah. Yeah.
Teresa, thanks for
thank you guys. You're beautiful. There's a couple of other events we were going to just touch in with Julie Krull about the One Planet Peace Forum, which is coming at the end. You saw Danilea put a link in the chat to the closing ceremony, the gratitude ceremony to the nature elders. That's also happening on the last day. Scott and Ben and I are co-hosting the closing ceremony. So Julie, I wonder if you want to just say a few words about that. Scott's got some announcements, and then we're going to close out with Gary and some music and Cornflower and some music to take us home. So, Julie.
Take us home. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Ben and John. So Saturday, next Saturday, a week from today, is the One Planet Peace Forum, and our brother Bob Atkinson was to be here with us tonight and felt ill with COVID. So we sent him to bed and said, we don't care if you feel well enough to come share. We want you resting at 11:30 at night. So he is with us in spirit tonight. But the One Planet Peace Forum, this is the third year. And it went from an intention of a live event to online. And this year, because of Peace Week, we've condensed a 3-day One Planet Peace Forum into 2.5 hours. So please join us. There's a place to register online, but we will be in room 1. We've got some amazing guests. It's Saturday, 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern, right in room 1. Hopefully we'll be live streamed and sent on a sign network as well. We have Dr. Anita Sanchez, Dr. Shamini Jain, Rabbi Rami Shapiro, Dr. Huda Mahmoudi, and Yuka Matsura. And it is going to be a very fascinating and enriching conversation and experience. And I want to say experience because there's going to be some elements that just bring you into the experience of peace. So please join us. And let's all send our love as well to Bob this evening. Some healing prayers and love for Bob. Thank you for putting that up. Amazing speakers. And the 3rd annual. And next year we plan to be live in the beautiful state of Maine and bringing everybody together face to face again. So hopefully we can do that next year in a post-COVID world.
Great.
Thank you, Teresa.
I just put a link to register for that, and it is in room 1. So you find everything, Danilea and the gratitude ceremony, One Planet Peace Forum, all the Global Coherence Pulses, all of it is on peaceweek.org. And the gratitude ceremony follows the One Planet Peace Forum, so it'll be a beautiful segue and then into the closing ceremony. So yes, what a rich time. You guys really pulled together some pretty awesome stuff. I'm gonna have to keep taking care of my body while we connect on this virtual Zoom. So Scott, I
notice too,
yeah.
Teresa, I just want to presence the plenary sessions are so culturally diverse. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Go check out the plenaries. Ben, it's amazing. You, Jan, Shelley have put together an amazing guest list for those plenaries. It is so representative of the world at large. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so great. I know we're just going a few minutes over, and we're going to let Scott do some announcements for the Global Peace Tribe because he needs to do that. Ben might have one thing. He just put a little finger up.
Just real quick. This is for Brother Gary in the team.
Yes.
So this is the World
Yes.
Peace Concert on the 21st. Gary put in the chat there, but have a look at this amazing lineup. 11 to 2 on Wednesday, World Peace Day, with Gary and other extraordinary musicians. So I just wanted
and they wanted to be a part of this so badly. They had planned this for 3 months and were trying to get a hold of me for 2. And the day before the assembly, I said, would you change it to 11 to 2 so we can be done before the Coherence Pulse? And they changed it on a dime. That's how badly they wanted to be in this community. So the Corrin brothers, Justin Michael Williams, this is going to be a beautiful event. And I'm proud to be a part of it. And thank you, Ben, for remembering to say something about it.
Thank you. Beautiful. All right, Scott, a few announcements, and then we'll close out with some music and let everyone go off to a beautiful beginning of Peace Week.
Okay. Well, first of all, next week, next Saturday, which is kind of the last Saturday of our current season of the Awakening World, is going to be very unique. Instead of doing our show at the normal time, 6 o'clock Pacific, we're going to start just next week only, 2 hours earlier at 4 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Eastern, because we're collaborating with Ben and Teresa Collins to do a big grand finale closing ceremony. We're gonna have Kristen Hoffman playing music and a lot of amazing presenters. So please mark down next week only, It's going to be a 2-hour earlier start time. And we'll, in our emails that we send out to everybody, we'll of course let you all know about that. And it is that time to register for the new season that's going to begin October 1st through December 31st. I've got a lot of wonderful shows planned. I'm going to continue to do every Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning, plus occasional extra events. And we've got some really fun stuff planned with Steve Farrell, Humanity's team, Humanity Rising. The Twin Ray and I are doing a whole project together. I'm going to be doing more with the Evolutionary Leaders Network and Deborah Moldow. So again, I just put into the chat box, and I'll put it in there again, register for our next season. And those that register this weekend have got a little special gift for you. Also, our Global Peace Tribe Retreat's going to happen. And I'm really excited to announce we just added this weekend Daniel Brinkley. Daniel's going to come out to Sedona, Arizona. He's going to be with us live. And he's a blast. He's an amazing guy. He's a long-term friend of mine. I first put him on television in 1994. I was a producer on a show called The Other Side. And it was one of Daniel's very first TV things. So he and I go pretty far back, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And again, just a reminder, and a reminder people to please mute because we can hear you typing. It's happening, our first Global Peace Tribe Retreat. And a lot of the people that are here, like Karen Eisenberg and Kiwi, have already registered, but we still want to bring all of you in. So register now. I just extended the early bird discount price one last weekend, this weekend. And we've got amazing things. There's going to be a super conscious music festival, a big psychic fair, Daniel Brinkley, a dozen different presenters, all of whom you've seen on the Awakening World, doing workshops and play shops. And we're going to be having all of our meals together. And Omashar will be there playing music live. And if we get enough registrations, we're going to bring in other wonderful guests. I'd love to get Cornflower out there. So we need people to come to Sedona, Arizona. And we are going to get a very large house or two, depending on how many people want to kind of bunk in. Imagine it'll be kind of like a pajama party with a lot of us. So it's going to be really, really fun. Register if you're interested in sharing housing. We've got two people, Scotty Satori and Luana, are going to be helping with all the housing and the travel to make it really easy. Recognizing that some of you are going to fly into Phoenix, we'll make sure there's shuttles to get you here. Others, of course, are going to drive out. I know Connie and Andrew are coming. They'll stay in their RV. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. And Sedona is a magical place. And October is an incredible, perfect time to be in Sedona. So definitely join us. A couple of announcements. Just want to remind everybody that we are going to be having one more show tomorrow. We continue with my Sacred Sunday show. Let me pull up the flyer. And I thought, in the spirit of Peace Week, to show little excerpts from some of our favorite people that have been on the show: the Twin Ray, Andrew Harvey, Michael Beckwith. Reverend Michael is going to be doing our keynote next Saturday. We're going to show a little bit of Reverend Michael and Marianne Williamson leading a prayer for peace. That's all tomorrow on the Sacred Sunday show at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the very final announcement is a brand new event that I do want to let people know about. I'm going to be teaching a new course, and it's going to be for men. It's Relationship Essentials for the Evolving Masculine. I'm teaching it with my friend Stephen Seva, and he took my Relationship Essentials course, my Relationship Mastery course, a total of 5 times. Loved my courses, has created Relation Flicks. We've done the Relation Flicks people on this show a couple of times, and he and I are teaching a course exclusively for men, all about emotional intelligence, shadow work, spirituality, tantric sexuality. It's going to be an 8-week course on Thursday nights, and we're limiting the number of people to 35, so it'll be intimate. And if you're interested, send your man, or for those men that are watching, join us. It's going to be a very, very powerful course. So there you have it. There are the Global Peace Tribe announcements. And I'm going to turn it over to Teresa, because I think she's got some announcements about Global Coherence Pulse. Where are you, Teresa?
Just right here. I think we've said that we are going to have a Global Coherence Pulse every day, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So join us, and you can find the schedule at thepeaceweek.org. So come and help us pulse the field every day and really provide some coherence, loving energy for the field. I wanted to bring on Gary and Cornflower to be able to bring us out with a little bit of music. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who joined tonight and, you know, had this evening be a mindful entry into Peace Week. And may we take what we've gathered here over this evening and shine it out throughout the week in all of the ways that we can. So, Gary, why don't you come in and offer any closing thoughts and energy and love and music, whatever you feel, and then we'll have Cornflower take us out into the evening. And thank you, Scott. Thanks for allowing us to have this space every Saturday, every weekend, to come together as a family.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. And what an amazing family we all get to be a part of. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. So, all right, take it away, Gary.
Thank you. So I don't know about you guys, but when I hear about all of the amazing creativity coming off from every imaginable soul on the planet here and in this community as it's growing, I get a little overwhelmed. And then I remember the fire, remembering the listening fire. So I just want to bring it up again because I just really want to remind ourselves that when we reclaim our primordial connection, to nature, to the listening field of Danilea's, to all the things we talked about, it's, I don't know, I can't hear it. That's funny. Okay, well, at least they'll see it. When we reclaim that, can you guys hear the fire at all? Because I can't.
No.
Oh, you can't?
We don't hear it.
That's weird. I wonder why. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna, well, I'm not gonna, I want to go to this song, but just let's imagine, anyway, this tests our ability. When I'm around the fire and I'm listening to music and I'm carrying the invitation into dropping into the intention of the music, it refines my ability to feel what I'm resonating with so that I don't have to use my mind to figure out what of the talks from the Peace Week is gonna call me. I can trust my intuition to guide me when I come home to the fire of my heart. So I just really want to reiterate that. It gets overwhelming for me because there's so much going on, right? So I just want to remind us that it's our, like what Michael said, Michael Lindfield said, there's nowhere else that can be the arbiter of our navigational capacity to live in the field with grace other than our hearts, our open hearts. And it's the same thing as that song I sang, We Are All Here to Love, where I'd sing the song when it first got written and delivered to me, but it didn't feel alive with the presence of the cellular claiming of that vibrational field. It hadn't grown, like Thich Nhat Hanh said, the blossom hadn't grown yet in the cells in my heart and my cells. In the same way, gratitude never gets old. And this phrase that Brother David always says, that we're not grateful because we're happy, although yes, we're grateful when we're happy. I don't mean to diss that. Of course, we're grateful when we're happy, but we're happy because we're grateful. So right now, it never gets old to be a beginner's mind, a beginner's heart, a beginner's soul, beginner's body, and reclaim our mitochondria and our cells into the frequency of gratitude. And think about what you're grateful for right now. And like the mycelium network that Jennifer was talking about, let's intertwine our roots together in a profound field-empowered biofield of love and gratitude. And the song goes, somebody write it in the chat if you would, so you can look at it. I am grateful for the skies up above. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And when things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful for the skies up above. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And if things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just to be alive. Sitting on the porch thinking about my problems, wondering what to do. Bills to pay, aches and pains, broken hearts, sleepless nights. But a ray of light shone through the clouds as if to say, this is a brand new day. A brand new day. Oh, I am grateful for the skies up above. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And if things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just to be alive. All of us, I am grateful for the skies up above. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And if things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful for the skies up above. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And if things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be unmute and tell me, what are you grateful for, Teresa? Can't hear you. What are you
I'm grateful for this community and all of the love pouring from all of our hearts right now.
Julie, what are you grateful for? Can't hear you.
There, I am grateful for this beautiful planet and all life that supports us.
Karen, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for you, Gary.
Wild Mystic Abbott, what are you grateful for?
That we get to be alive in this most sacred time on planet Earth.
Scott, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for health and the incredible abundance that we all have.
I am grateful just to be alive.
Grateful for you, Gary.
Thank you, Ben. Hallelujah.
Everybody twinkle, twinkle time for Gary.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for hanging in there. We went a little over tonight. We just kind of like got a little sliding towards the end and just really had so much good things to share. And so we're just going to go out with Cornflower tonight, and we can all just send ourselves off with some joy. Maybe get up and move around a little bit before you go off to sleep tonight, and just know that we've started this Peace Week with a really beautiful, beautiful, powerful, pulsing energy, and let's carry it through the week. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. Thanks, everybody. This has been amazing. And Gary, I'm just going to continue with the grateful vibe. I've got my song Grateful for My Life that I want to play to send us out. So thank you for setting the tone of gratitude, and that inspired me to share this song as well. Let's keep the gratitude train going, and thanks to everyone who's putting on this Peace Week and everybody who's involved. It really does make a difference. So I love you all. Have a good night.
I am grateful for my life. When I'm caught
every step I take control. Every day and every night, through the darkness and the light. I am grateful for my life. I am grateful for my life. Every day and every night, through the darkness and the light. I am grateful for my
every night.
Let's all twinkle cornflower.
To the dark and to the light.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Grateful for my life.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone.
Love you
Have a
all.
blessed,
Before we
peaceful
go, I do want to encourage people to support Cornflower. It's important for us to support our musical artists. And if you go to his website, it's cornflowermusic.com, and join his program. At the very least, put in your name and email address so he can let you know about what he's doing. But please do what I've done and what most of us do. We support Cornflower, Kristen, all of our artists by joining either the Patreon program, he calls it his Flower Seeds program, where he knows that he's going to get a little bit of a monthly income. And it's really important to do that for as little as $3.33 a month. And he sends out a lot. It's a wonderful, wonderful way for us to support all of our beloved musical artists. And definitely tonight, we want to emphasize the importance of supporting Cornflower. So thank you, everybody, for doing that. And I'll put that into the chat box. And beloved Cornflower, we love you so much.
Love you all. This is family. Such a beautiful thing.
It is definitely.
Thank you, Cornflower. Love you, man.
Love you guys so much. You guys are all just so special in my heart.
And remember, next week, 2 hours earlier, 4 o'clock Pacific time, for the big closing ceremony with Teresa, Ben, and myself all co-hosting. Kristen Hoffman will be playing music, and we're going to have all sorts of other wonderful things happening. I think Gary Malkin is going to be part of that too.
I don't know if I am. I certainly am willing, but I wanted to say I can't resist. The first ever Graceful Passages live is all about embracing your life fully. It's going to be in Virginia, November 10th to the 13th. I put a brochure in the chat. It's so going to be so exciting to actually recognize how we metabolize grief directly affects our joy and gratitude. And it's going to be all about that. So find out more about it. I'm sorry I had to get it in at the 11th hour because I'm so excited about it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And say it again one more time. What are the dates, Gary?
So it's November 10th to the 13th. I'm going to be co-leading it with Hope Fitzgerald, who's a phenomenal spiritual guide around the infinity wave, who should be on Awakening World, by the way, Scott. I have to tell you about that. And it's going to be in Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley. And it's absolutely going to be a beautiful transformational weekend. And anyway, love you to know about it. Thank you.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, there it is. It's been a beautiful night. I'm going to go to gallery view one last time for us to see everybody. I hope to see you all tomorrow morning for a very special Sacred Sunday show. Thank you, Teresa, so much for putting this show together. As always, you do such a great job. And Ben, amazing work that you're doing with Peace Week. And let's go to gallery view for everybody to wave goodbye and say good night for the night.
Beautiful.
Take care, everybody.
Scott and Teresa, can we grab a minute just before you disappear off? I know that you've got, okay.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.